Welcome back, guys and girls. Well, as you can see today, I'm working on the sickle bar mower again. Took it out to a friend of mine's farm and was cutting down basically bamboo, small bamboo with it, and the blade started binding up. I know now why. That could be your problem right there. So basically what was happening was this is broke and the bolts were the only thing really holding it together, where it was bolted right here in this top piece. And once that came off, then it separated into half. And so I took it apart to look at it. That's what I found. Everything's broken. Another problem is, I'm pretty sure there is supposed to be a brass rectangular piece with a round hole in it that just slides up and down in here. It's long gone. This piece of equipment was in the scrapyard and, completely worn out, and a guy I know got a hold of it, and I got it from him, and I've slowly been rebuilding it as I'm using it. So I need to address that too. Right now I don't have any brass that's the right size, so I think what I'm going to do is I've come up with these two. It's a nut and an old bearing race, I believe. I think what I'm going to do is put that nut up on there, put that on there, and that's going to take up a lot of the space. So I have to take and grind all that out, weld it back together, put it together, and then we'll go test it. Okay, got this welded up, ground down, got the holes cleaned out so the bolts fit back in. Got this welded up, built up. It's not perfect, but it'll work. So now I have to try to fit everything back together. Hey, a quick tip too. So this is an old piece of equipment, obviously. You would not expect to find metric bolts in an old American piece of equipment. But people use whatever they have or whatever they can find. These have all been replaced, obviously, and they are stainless steel shoulder bolts. You can see that one's pretty well gone. So anyway, let's see if I can get her to focus. If you will look at that, those markings, it says 2.70, I believe. If you see markings like that, that's usually how metric bolts are marked. You know, US standard bolts will have the lines, the hashes in them. And so you'll see a varying number based on the hardness. So if you see numbers like that, generally that is metric. And so yeah, I went and got I think it's a 5mm. Let me see. Yeah, 5mm Allen wrench and a 10mm wrench to take these out. So something to look out for. Now I got to try to put it back together. Okay, here it is, all put back together, welded. Had to replace a couple of bolts, well, 3 I think. And I'm probably going to have to grind them down because I'm pretty sure they are going to hit the guides that I built up in a previous video. The nuts have to slide underneath. So I'll throw it together, see what I need to do, and then I'll probably take it back over and grind some off of it. That might work. Don't know until I get everything tight, which is kind of a pain because then if it rubs, you gotta take it all back apart and grind on it some more. see if it runs. That might work. Time to tie it down, head back out to the farm, see what she'll do. Alright guys, well, as you can tell, I'm out of breath because I'm old and fat, and that thing's a handful. If you noticed, it was kind of slowing down over here, especially in the bamboo, we'll call it bamboo. So one of the problems is that stuff grows so close together that the cutter can't get in to cut it at times. And also, if it raises up in the air and it leaves a stop, then it hangs up on the stops. So that's why I was going from different sides and backing up and going at it again. Was you just have to do that. You know, it's like a knot going through a comb. It doesn't want to go through there. And over there, number one, I had to be careful because there's still poles and stuff in the ground over there. And number two, that pampas grass is basically the same thing. Same problem. It grows really thick close to the ground and several inches above the ground, so you have to raise up over it to get it to cut. And so now I'm going to clean all this mess up and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so here's after I got a lot of the mess cleaned up. Now, in all honesty, I did run the sickle bar mower again to get rid of some of the higher stobs sticking up while I could see them. But that's how good it does, even as worn out as it is. And so probably total, as far as cutting this stuff, it took me about a half hour, 40 minutes. That's way faster than you can do it by hand. So this over here, I have not ran the sickle mower again. I will, but I have not yet. And so, you know, this is some of the stuff I knew was in here that I was trying to be careful of. There's that pampas grass I was telling you about. It's so thick, you just can't get that cutter bar in there. I'll run it up again a little bit more, and I'll trim this just a little bit better. But the old beast, you know, she's still got some value. Thanks for watching, guys.